Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome. This is the Feminine Inquisition. We're doing your reading for the month of November. We have just had a full moon in Taurus, which may have been helpful for you to understand what completion means, perfectly whole as you are. Taurus is all about what we find comfort in, what we find value in, how we are valued, and how we bring value outwards. The system, hierarchy of what we have as a value system. Now, I want to tell you there's a new moon in Scorpio. Of course, we are in Scorpio season. Mercury is in retrograde for the majority of this month, which will allow for some introspections, learning about what responsibility is, what's yours to clean up, communicate, close, and or what's not to be released, right? The new moon in Scorpio will give you a chance to plant a seed for this kind of next phase you're moving into. Whatever it is you're transforming, right? Death energy. That is the lesson that Scorpio always brings to us. So we're going to do a Celtic cross and just get right into it. Okay, here we go. Center energy for Sagittarius. Hello. There is a divine sense of clarity coming through at you or out from you. What's crossing this big sword of truth? Thank you. The Hermit, it's a healing vision, a light at the end of the tunnel, generating consciousness, belonging to oneself with this truth. What's crowning? The Ace of Cups on its side. That's 2 aces already on the table out of 3 cards. All right. What's working against you? The undermining. What's underneath? The 8 of Swords in reverse. No longer blocked by the strategy that you are employing, the sort of structure of the psychology that you were using to think about the thing that we're thinking about, the false truths that you now see more clearly, or things that were said that you perceive to be one way and boxing you in, but now no, you're set free by it. I don't know. The past, the 6 of Cups. Okay, this has to do with connecting to another or connecting to a previous sense of yourself, right? Any ancestry or family belonging, history. Leaning in to smell very closely what something was that you shared with someone else. Yeah, where's this going? Okay, this flipped over in my hand. Let's take a look at it. It's the 9 of Swords. It didn't come out. We will continue to go. Where's this going? Future energy, please. The 10 of Wands in reverse. We like that much better than the 9 of Swords. Great. So we'll take this into perspective when the 9 of Swords is going, when the 10 of Wands is clarified, we'll know that it has been stressful, this burden, and it makes sense, right? But in the future, the 10 of Wands is in reverse. So something that has been heavy has become much lighter. We'll get into that in a little bit. Personal position of strength, please, for Sagittarius for the month of November. This also just came out in my hand. Judgment. Personal position of strength, please. Thank you. The Ace of Wands. That's 3 aces on the table. Can I see the environment, please? The environment is the 5 of Wands in reverse and the Fool. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Those two in combination, whatever was complete chaos before was conflict inside and outside. There's a sense of urgency that I see, that you wanted to solve something, but now you release it. The environment gives you a chance to break free from whatever constraints of conflict and chaos. Yeah. Let's see the hopes and fears, please, for the month of November. The 10 of Swords. You want it to be over. Whatever it is. Be done. The mindset about the thing that you've been holding on to, the victimhood, the hurt, the pain, the fact that you've been ruminating and going over that maybe you created this, that there was something you could have done differently to avoid this, just done. Hopes and fears, it's done. Can I see the potential outcome? Thank you. The Death. That's Scorpio right there. So you are right on time. And the bottom of the deck, I have the Lovers. Again, this is double confirmation. We're talking about you and someone else, right? So this reading is not necessarily a love reading, but I read the cards. I read what is here, and that is what's coming up. So if you're not connected to someone and or dealing with the closure of maybe a relationship ending, this maybe isn't maybe not ending, but something definitely coming to a close. We'll see when we clarify, but the Lovers is here. So it's a bond that's very important. If you're single, flying free, this may not be your reading. But it could just be also that you're coming into more alignment with you, and that's what the Lovers would suggest as well as you manifest. Let's get into it. So there's an Ace of Swords at the center of the reading. I want to know, what is the clarity that has arrived for you or has come through you, right? Did you use your voice? Now is not a time to play small. The Ace of Swords suggests that you're doing big things. Can I see this Ace of... The Ace of Swords is clarified by the Page of Cups in reverse. What else? The Queen of Pentacles in reverse. One more. Thank you. The Devil. All right. So that's some big Capricorn energy, right? With the Queen of Pentacles and the Devil. What we're talking about is that whatever it was that you may be, that you were holding out for, that you were waiting for an answer, that you had some confusion about, some lingering questions. At this stage, how this sword has turned upwards, it is clear to you that when and if there is a presentation of sorry, like an apology that comes to you, or a mishandling of something, a carelessness, there is no way that you can feel good about letting your guard down, right? You recognize that the temptation will be really present for you to be open to it. But in this month, it is clear to you that letting your guard down and being open to something that you know doesn't feel authentic is just a temptation, a fear-based decision from a place of without, right? So when the Devil shows up, it's about what are we attached, what are we attracting from fears, from insecurities, from confusion, from doubt. And in this sense, I'm getting the idea that it was that you wanted, you will recognize that you were hoping to be chosen in the way that you chose. And this is a deep place that you're trying to heal right now, which is why I have the Hermit here crossing you. The Hermit, as this clarity comes in this month, the Hermit is going to shine light that when you put your guard down, when you abandon you, when you make yourself less important than whomever it is that you're engaging with, that is where you find yourself in the chains of the Devil. And you know all the while that it's a Page of Cups in reverse. You know all the while that it's pretense, that it's not exactly thorough energy. It's not exactly consistent. It's not exactly authentic. You understand it. You feel the vibe, the frequency. But the Queen of Pentacles is, yes, she has her hard lines, but she's also a nurturing. And so you maybe have had a lot of allowances that were granted. And this clarity shows you that these allowances come from an unhealthy place in you. So the Hermit is here to heal. The bottom of the deck is the Sun. These are both light that shines consciousness, okay? So this is the breakthrough that you're having at this moment. Can I see the Hermit, please? What does he heal specifically? If there's any more messages here I haven't said. Okay. The Four of Cups and the Ten of Swords. This is a energy of being emotionally saturated in the fact that you may not have something, right? When you get stuck in the thought, not like a fear of missing out, but that you're sitting and thinking about the emotional experience rather than being present to it. And then your worries end up being the worst case scenarios that play out. Let me just get one more. After the Ten of Swords, what does the Hermit heal? Three of Cups. So this is the, again, this celebration. Empress is here. This celebration in the Three of Cups is on its side. So this is sitting and thinking about how things used to be. You see those three cups that are there? And then hurting yourself with hopes and fears, as that Ten of Swords is how it showed up for you. and this being the side energy, right? So these 3 cups of what it means to be celebratory and coming together with this person that may be showing up soon is what you're sitting here thinking about. And it's healing the ways in which we go into a nostalgic place, thinking about things, maybe remembering them differently than they really were, and using them to hurt ourselves. Not that we do this consciously. You're not hurting yourself by thinking of bad things. You're hurting yourself by thinking of things that are lovely but aren't here presently. And so in that way, you build up an anticipation that maybe it will come back, or you fill yourself with the energy of what was. But here in the present moment, you're faced with the reality that it isn't. The Empress. She's trying to prove to you, with the help of the Hermit, what your value is, where you are valued, and how to bring things to you through an energetic vibration, not going out chasing, seeking, right? She offers this clarity and this truth and this wisdom, the embodiment that what is yours already belongs to you. Okay. Now, above you is the Ace of Cups. Let's just see. What's the Ace of Cups? Crowning this energy, the Ace of Cups is on its side. 6 of Cups in reverse. 6 of Swords. Oh, God. We're talking about the fact that you have connected in this month, above you, crowning you, the energy that's available for you to pull down as you sort through this healing process, is that instead of looking back, or while you look back, recognize that your cup was full the whole time, and that you were dealing with a situation that didn't have clarity to choose and went back and forth, didn't have courage to voice exactly how they felt, and abandoned and avoided a situation. Bottom of the deck is the 3 of Pentacles. This would be the baseline, the bare minimum of friendship, of cooperation, of collaboration, of just checking in. Did you get home all right? This wasn't even consistent. And of course, after that, the 2 of Pentacles, right? So a lot of back and forth in the energy, which is why you maybe were confused and feeling nostalgic, because it's easy to extrapolate that in these kinds of relationships, people like to say a lot more than the person that you're dealing with, I'm speaking about. They like to say a lot more than they actually do. And so therefore actions don't always line up with what the words have been, which is, cognitive dissonance at its most real level. Underneath you is the 8 of Swords. You're no longer stuck in this situation. What's the movement here? Is there any movement? The 8 of Swords, show me. So working against you, 8 of Swords in reverse. It's weird because we want to be in the we want the 8 of Swords to be in reverse, right? We want to be able to move, but working against you is this feeling that you have broken free. But here we have the Sun in reverse and the 4 of Swords. Working against you is that you don't see a way to be complete or happy in this peace, in this quiet, in this rest. In putting this to bed, it's really difficult. It's really, really difficult. It's hard for you to understand or to sit and think about how someone couldn't make a move because you're so free. And so when you, when and if you make progress and you're doing your day-to-day and you're out there in the world, there's a thought that creeps in about how you're unhappy that even though you're free to move, this person doesn't find the freedom to move. And so it hurts you again. And I've got the 9 of Cups here. So we might be dealing with a codependent issue, or we might be dealing with someone who's selfish, the other end. They might be quite selfish and indulgent in really thinking about themselves. So let's keep going. Your happiness is yours to generate, right? No one else's. So in the past, I have the 6 of Cups. So we already know that is the energy that we've been discussing this whole time. But if it helps you, we'll see if we can get any cards that might represent your person, and then you'll know for confirmation if this is your reading. Can I see this past energy, the Six of Cups, please? That's a Scorpio card. That's Sun in Scorpio. I got the Nine of Swords in reverse. The Temperance. And the Three of Swords. Okay, so in the past, all that's happened for you is a matter of recognizing that this is what was meant to be, right? Like, I think that you're quite clear on that. Your part and your place in it is really clear for you. You just don't understand why this person was in your life in the way that they were. That's the burden that you carry. Those 3 cups that's spilled, right? You've got you. But what was this? And it's a good question. It's a normal question. But going into the future, I've got the Ten of Wands in reverse. So you recognize at least one thing, and that is that it's not your responsibility. It is not your responsibility to know what it was, right? Let God be God, and you'll be you. Let's see. 10 of Wands in reverse for the future position for the month of November for Sagittarius, please. Whoa, that card just flipped like so many times. 3 of Wands in reverse. Done waiting. 10 of Wands in reverse. It's not my load to carry. I just want to see the Chariot. 7 of Swords, but in reverse. Ooh, a letting go of letting go. A walking away from walking away. Maybe it is that the secret, there's a secret that's revealed. Something comes out, perhaps, that makes it a further point for you that it's not your responsibility. A further point for you that you no longer wait. I don't know what that is, and neither do you. But the Moon, followed by the King of Cups. I don't know if that person means something to you. This is a water sign or someone who emotionally withholds, but also has a lot of love to give, right? Is really on both ends of the spectrum. But the Moon is here. So there's an unknown detail. And that unknown detail, whether it becomes clear and is part of the Ace of Swords that is at the center of your reading, or whether it just doesn't come clear, but you know that there's something there, right? You know that there's something that you don't know is enough to know that it's not your bag, baby. It's not for you to wait for, and it's not your burden to carry, and those sticks can stay right where they are. If he wants to clean it up, if she wants to leave a mess, right? Let's go. So personal position of strength, you said Ace of Wands, right? Because if we turn those 10 of Wands upside down, we start again. Brand new, fresh energy, big, bold fire bursting through. This is not an aha, but a fiery rush, right? To take action and to move into a direction that really serves your purpose, serves your passion. Let's see this Ace of Wands. High Priestess on a side. What else? Queen of Wands followed by the Tower. Okay, that is a spiritual breakthrough. That is an aha about your confidence level, about the power of your voice, what you know. Like, again, because the Moon already showed up, and the Moon was signifying something about you releasing this. There is a deep sense of truth, wisdom, and confidence for you to make whatever burning of this situation, turning it down, tearing it down, walking away, setting it on fire, a big release so that you can build again the new foundation for you. This is, a foundation, taking care of your home, feeling grounded and belonging to your friends, to your family. Right? It's taking care of you and the people that you love. Okay. I love that. Huge growth moment. There's a huge, that Ace of Wands, your strength, you're saying, I'm ready for whatever will come. I'm ready. If that means that I move, okay. Bring it on. Now, for the environment, I've got the 5 of Wands in reverse, no longer in conflict, to the Fool. We start again fresh, right? Let's see. Where does the Fool go? Show me. Environment, please, for Sagittarius for the month of November. I got the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Wow. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse with the King of Wands and the Page of Pentacles here. Now, hang on. So, if the King of Wands is you, because you showed me the Queen of Wands, then you're no longer waiting for the slow resolve for this conflict. And so you take leadership to take a leap in a new direction, right? To be a shapeshifter, as the King of Wands would suggest. Bit by bit. You move in this new direction, decidedly. Okay? But after the King of Swords, I have the Moon. So you're okay to go into the unknown. But I want to touch back for a moment. If the King of Wands is a different energy and not yours, it would suggest to me that what we are talking about in the environment is that there's no movement on the conflict with the other person that you're in conflict with, and they can't rise to a level of leadership because they're just a page. In the real world, as much as you are in the ether, connected to them on a spiritual level, on a level where you feel energetically connected to them, in the material world, they can't bring themselves to take action. So you take a leap of faith. So they're not in dramatically different messages, but one is much more empowered than the other, and the other one goes a little bit deeper into who you're dealing with. Take it as it works for you. Now, I have, for hopes and fears, the 10 of Swords. Can I please see the 10 of Swords for hopes and fears? We're already pretty clear on that you want the end of this rumination period, this delays, this betrayal, this hurt. 10 of Swords, hopes and fears. 6 of Pentacles in reverse. The Death. You said I don't need to balance out. Whomever it is that's stuck can stay stuck. They don't need to come to me. Right. And I feel like they're at a distance from you because the 6 of Pentacles would be the day-to-day, but they're not exactly involved in that. Can I see the Death energy for the outcome? What transforms or what ends? Okay, so this is curious. Here we have at the bottom of the deck the King of Swords. This is a decided action, right? A swift blade that cuts the shit out of the way. The endings that are described or clarified by this death, first and foremost, the 9 of Cups on its side. Whoever was blocked before, whoever was either codependent or swinging from extremes and or selfish, self-centered, they're going through a process of transformation where they're on their side. They're not exactly thriving. They're not exactly well. And the ending is suggesting healing for both people. And the reason is because the Hermit is here twice. And this is a reading between two energies. There's an opportunity. There's a healing and then a real world opportunity. The Ace of Pentacles. And it's clear and it's objective and it's true. Can I see this Ace of Pentacles, please? So whatever it was that created this outlook, the 3 cups have spilled, the regrets, the subjectivity, the inability to wash one's self clean, and the duality where you're separate from the people that you want to be connected to, has given some emotional clarity. So that emotional clarity is brought to both of you. Both of you go through what is a clearing of the heart space. And I think this is done on an independent basis, but I still don't see... I still don't see an outward communication or shared energy in real physical time and space between you two. So I'm not sure if this is like a telepathic communication, agree to disagree without words. Can I see anything more about the physical space and time between these two? No. Okay. I have the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck. Time will tell. Let's just get advice and we'll close this out. For Sagittarius, can I get some advice? The Lovers. Can I get some advice for Sagittarius? What about the Lovers? This is not a story that ends well, yeah? The Lovers, the Nine of Wands, and then the High Priestess. And they split in different directions. The Star is here. Star to the Ten of Pentacles. Look, they split in different directions. The Nine of Wands is in reverse. So this would be guarding or guarded, blocking, resisting, and this would be letting go, allowing. This would be the intuition, but it was here, coming out of the silence. So I don't know exactly what time will bring, what change will come from the Star that both of you obviously were at one point connected to in this Lovers union. But in this particular month, with Scorpio's help, we are going to see a transformation. You're rebuilding your foundation as it relates to your deep knowing, your confidence, your deep wound of trying to be chosen when you could just choose yourself. And your person is going through a transformation of what it means to withhold, to be selfish, and to swing from extremes of codependency and or self-serving, to be really self-centered while engaging in a union, right? I mean, those two don't really jive very well. And this is what has crippled them from being clear on making decisions and has left you in confusion, which is why the Ten of Swords is here. And it's deeply connected to the clarity that you're surfacing through and into. I would say trust your gut, okay? This month, your spidey senses need to be up. Spend some time with the moon, if possible. Yeah, like you can get out there. We still have a bright, full moon, but also watch it as it continues to recede, go inwards, and perhaps in the void of the dark is where you find your answers, as that is where all creation stories begin. In the dark. New moon, 20th or the 21st, depending on where you are. All right, I leave it there. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Ciao.